Hey guys, welcome back. Overall, you guys did phenomenally on this test. If you did make some mistakes, more than likely it was the same mistake that you're making over and over again, so let's fix that. And we're going to be doing just fine whenever we take that midterm. I mean the super happy-go-lucky VeggieTales test. All right, so 46% of you guys have not taken the test first before, so please don't watch the video until you've taken that. So you'll have plenty of time over the weekend to watch the video and figure out what you did wrong. All right, so moving on. Number one, only 10% of you guys missed this, so good job. Can't trick you there. Do notice that both of these lines are parallel. We can see that from the markings here, either the triangles or the chevrons. So the corresponding angle of 97 is going to be the same as the corresponding angle down here because of those parallel lines in this transversal. So we can move the 97 down here, and then we can move it from the bottom right to the bottom right over here because the more vertical lines are parallel as well across this transversal. So that means this missing angle P is going to be corresponding with 97, meaning they're going to be congruent. So our answer is going to be C as in Charlie. What's the value of x that makes M and N parallel? Well, I tell you that this angle here is 105 degrees. They are both in the top right corner, so they're going to be corresponding angles, meaning they have to be congruent. So we set them equal to each other. 15x is going to be equal to 105. Then all we have to do is divide both sides by 15, leaving us with x is equal to 7. So that would be your answer here. One of the ways that the most common mistake here was actually with 5, and that would be if you said they were supplementary. These are not same side interior angles, and they're not same side exterior angles, so they're not going to be supplementary. They're not a linear pair either, so do be careful. That would have got B, so if you got B, that's what you did wrong. You set them equal to 180. Anyway, so the correct answer is C as in Charlie. Number 3, what's the value of x that makes J and M parallel? These are alternate interior angles, so they are going to be congruent to each other. So we set them congruent, so 2x plus 24 is equal to 50. Then first thing we want to do is subtract 24 from both sides, leaving us with 2x is equal to 26. Then we divide both sides by 2 because we only want 1x instead of 2x's, my bad. And at least with x is equal to 13. So our correct answer is A as in alpha, and that's pretty much what most of you guys did right. If you said they were supplementary, like if they were same side interior, if this was over here, then they would be supplementary, but they're not. They're congruent because they're alternate interior. Now we know they're alternate interior again because they're on the alternate side of the transversal and the interior of the parallel lines. So I guess I could have shown that on the other one as well. Right, so these are corresponding because they're both on the top right. Okay, moving on, number 4. These are going to be same side interior because they're on the same side of the transversal and both on the interior of the parallel lines. So these are same side interior angles, which are same side supplementary, meaning they add up to 180 degrees. So don't set them equal to each other. Again, they're not congruent. They're same side interior, they're supplementary. So add them together, set equal to 180, combine your like terms. 9x plus 36 is equal to 180. Subtract 36 from both sides, leaving us with 9x is equal to 144. Divide both sides by 9, leaving us our final answer with x is equal to 16. So that was it. Most of you guys got that right. I believe if you got 12, that's because you set them equal to each other. So again, look at your angle pairs, figure out how they relate to each other. If you're not sure, you can also just move the corresponding one. So from the top left to the top left up here, then you'll notice these two are not the same angles. They're a linear pair, meaning they're supplements. So you can always use corresponding vertical angles and linear pairs to be able to figure out how they relate to each other if you forget the rules for your linear pairs. All right, find the value of x in the following figure. So if these lines are parallel, we noticed that from the triangles, then the 30-degree angle is going to be the same as this angle because they're alternate interior angles, and therefore they would be congruent. So then notice that on the very top we have a triangle in orange here, and we know some of the interior angles of a triangle is going to be 180 degrees. So we add those two together, 70, and the supplement of 70 is going to be 110. So the missing angle here, x, is going to be equal to 110, which is d as in delta. Very good. So not sure what you did if you got 70. Maybe you just thought you add them together. That's how we solved it when x was over here. But hey, you can't just memorize little tricks like that. You have to actually know how to set it up because I might throw a curveball at you. All right, number 6. Angles 1 and 2 are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. So which lines are parallel? Well, if we're looking at angles 1 and 2, we might ask ourselves, what is the transversal? So what's the angle that's creating those, or the line that's creating those two angles? And the line that's related between those two angles is going to be this line J. So J is our transversal. So which two lines are being related by these two angles with line J? That's going to be G and H. So we know right off the bat it has to be G and H that are parallel if they are parallel. And then the next question is, are these alternate interior or same side interior angles? Well, they're on the same side of the transversal that we said, and the interior of those two parallel lines G and H. These are same side interior angles, so we can prove that G and H are parallel by the converse of same side interior angles theorem. Now, another thing I want to point out here is that this line K, the angles do not touch line K. We have no idea what angles are formed whenever we intersect K with G. So for all we know, K could be way out here doing something like this, clearly not going to be parallel with J. So in order for us to be able to tell if J and K are parallel, we'd have to have an angle that's touching K, and these angles are not touching K. So you can kind of eliminate it from the process with using kind of a process of elimination, meaning we know K is not going to be one of our parallel lines, so the only two that it can be would be G and H. All right, number 7, which lines, if any, must be parallel if 2 and 5? So 2 and 5 are alternate exterior angles because they're on the alternate side of the transversal. This one's on the right side, this one's on the left side, and they're both on the exterior of the parallel line. So you guys seem to be doing really well identifying those, so good job. The next question we have is which one would be the transversal connecting those two lines? Well, just like the last time, it was going to be L. So which two would have to be parallel? That would be R and S would be the parallels. And the one that's not being related at all, that we have no idea what's going on with, is going to be the line M. So we don't know what's going on with M. I don't know what's going on with my pen either. So that's going to be M. We can eliminate that, meaning it has to be R and S by the converse of, we said, alternate exterior angles. So our answer would be B as in Bravo. So most of you guys got that right. On this one, you got the right alternate exterior. You just got the wrong lines. But again, these two angles don't touch M, so we have no idea what's going on between L and M. All right, number 8, which lines are parallel? 3 and 8 are congruent. 3 and 8 are going to be both on the bottom left, so they're corresponding angles, which means they have to be congruent. They told us they have equals measures, so they are. So the transversal connecting those two angles is going to be R, and the lines that have to be parallel are going to be L and M. So L and M are parallel by the converse of corresponding angles theorem, which would be D as in delta. And then again, the line that's not being, that these two angles do not touch, is S. So we don't know if R and S are parallel at all. We don't know what's going on with S. All right, number 9. This is the most missed problem. So we did lots of problems like these on the homework. Some of you guys just didn't show your work. My guess is you probably got lazy and just didn't want to solve this one equation. And if you do that, you're not going to get the right answer. So you do need to go ahead and solve the equation to get it into y is equal to mx plus b format. You can't just guess. Don't try to do it in your head. There's no reason for that, okay? So the first one's already solved for you because it's y is equal to mx plus b format. So our slope is -3. And right off the bat, if it was parallel, so parallel, should have used a symbol there, then we know that it has the same slope. Okay, which would mean that it would have to have a slope of -3, right? Because that would be the same slope. Now, if it was perpendicular, then it's going to have opposite reciprocal slopes. So what's the opposite reciprocal of -3? Well, we do the opposite sign from negative to positive, and then we change the numerator denominator to positive 1/3. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and solve here. We want to get the y by itself, so let's move the x to the other side. So add x to both sides, leaving us with 3y is equal to, now this is not 12x, they're not like terms. We have a constant and a variable. We can't add them together. So I'm going to put it as x plus 12. I'm going to put the x first because that's what we do in non-descending order for y is equal to mx plus b. Then I want to divide everything by 3, leaving with y is equal to 1/3, positive 1/3 x. I don't know what happened there. Plus 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4. All right, so we have a positive 1/3 and a -3. Now, are those the same slope? No. Are they opposite reciprocals? Yes, because as we said, the opposite reciprocal of -3 is positive 1/3, and the opposite reciprocal of positive 1/3 is -3. So they are opposite reciprocals, so they are perpendicular, because since the slopes are opposite reciprocals, so the answer is B. I guess most of you thought they weren't related, so you probably made some error with the algebra here, or you didn't realize those two were opposite reciprocals, and they totally are. Which line is parallel? So again, parallel lines have the same slope, so it's going to have a slope of -5/6 because this one's already in mx plus b format. So I just need another one that has -5/6, which is d as in delta. So easy, such an easy problem, right? All right, cool. We did that in less than 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, you can join us on our Google Meets from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. This might be one of the last times we are able to do the Google Meets, at least on a regular basis, because once we go back in person, I'm going to have classes all day, so I won't be able to do any Google Meets unless I do one during my planning period, but that's probably not going to work out too well. So anyway, looking forward to having you guys in class. It's going to be a ton of fun. We are going to take the midterm the first day you come back. I know it sounds so cruel, but then I'll make it up to you because we're going to play a game, and you'll get to know somebody in the classroom. And that's pretty much it. See you guys. Have a good day.